Publishing books with Amazon KDP has fundamentally changed. If you're still chasing coloring books, AI slop, and that get-rich-quick fantasy you were sold, your chances of success are dropping fast. We're seeing a flood of low-quality AI books, stricter quality controls, review issues, and more books getting blocked than ever. But there is an upside. Amazon relies on self-publishers to make hundreds of millions of dollars, and when you do publish the right way, you're actually rewarded. So in this video, I'm going to be going over the 6 things that you must be doing to drastically increase your chances of success with Amazon KDP in today's landscape. I'm also going to be showing you the exact types of books that you should be publishing to maximize your chance of results, as well as how you can double, triple, or even 10 times your income without publishing any more books. Let's waste no more time and dive right into the video. Alright, so what are some big shifts that are happening right now that's affected the Amazon KDP landscape over the past year? And so the first thing is AI is flooding the market. And so it's no surprise that AI is very prominent now in this space. And the big thing about this is that it's making the barrier to entry incredibly low. So anybody can create books, they can create them fast. And what's happening is people are abusing the system. They're publishing hundreds of books per week, and the market is getting flooded with hundreds of thousands of books. And so this is leading to a lot of blocked books because Amazon is increasing their quality control. And so even if you do think your book is not bad, it's high quality, it might get blocked just because their markers now in terms of what they're flagging is a lot higher than they used to be. This is also leading to a lot of review issues. So AI is now trickling into the review space. People are leaving low quality AI reviews. And what's happening is Amazon is cracking down on this. People are getting tons and tons of reviews removed, and more importantly, getting their books blocked because of this. And so in my opinion, the high quality intentional publishers are the ones who are rewarded and don't have any issues. And so now there are 6 main things that we have to be doing, not only to avoid these issues, but also just to thrive in the marketplace. Hey everyone, Ken here. Just a quick interruption. If you are serious about making Amazon KDP work this year, I put together a free, insanely valuable resource that's going to cut through the noise and give you a clear path forward. If you click the first link in the description, you can join my 15 Days to Publishing Mastery series. It's designed to walk you through the entire publishing process from start to finish while streamlining every step. Inside, you get 3 key things. First is the 3-hour masterclass. This is my full publishing system from start to finish, showing you exactly how I create high-level KDP assets that rank and sell in today's landscape. Second is the 15-day email series. This goes alongside the masterclass to ensure that you have a clear descriptive resource to go back to if you ever get stuck. You'll get 1 focused lesson per day covering each stage of the publishing process in great detail. Third is the complete PMA resource package. It comes with all necessary tools, templates, and prompts to streamline your book creation process without sacrificing quality. So click the first link in the description to get access. It's completely free, insanely valuable, and will make your Amazon KDP journey way easier over the next 6 to 12 months. And if you're sick of YouTube videos and you just want to fast track your success, remove guesswork, and get one-to-one guidance from people who've already done this, there's also going to be a link to my full mentorship program below. Let's get back to the video. And the first one is speed and cost. And so a big bottleneck I see is people spend too long and too much time creating a book. And so because topics are getting very saturated and competitive quicker, we need to make sure that we are moving fast. We want to streamline our entire book creation process. And so once you've created a book, learn what you did. And the fastest way to do this is, of course, to utilize AI. So I know I just talked about that AI is actually ruining the marketplace because people are abusing it. But the thing about AI is that it's a tool. It's not going to replace things. But when you use it as an assistant, it can drastically speed up your workflow and make it so much easier to create high-level assets. So I mainly use AI to create things like my accessories, my book outline, my title, my description, my A+ content, maybe even just the structure of it. I also use it to create some cover guidelines for my designers, and even things like topic research and more. AI is also great for faster book writing. So if you are creating medium and high content books, it's almost essential nowadays to use AI in some form just to save time and money. And so a few different things we can do is I normally recommend people use the Urban Writers to get their books ghostwritten, mainly the AI package. This is where a writer will use AI to write your book, as well as they will have it edited and proofread. And you can also take it through another editing process if you'd like to humanize it further. This is going to cut your cost basically in half and make it cheaper and faster than ever to get books written. If you want to write your books yourself and save some money, you can use a tool called Spiral. I'm not going to dive into it very deeply in this video. You can go and check it out. However, it's a great writing tool. It's designed specifically for writing high-level content. It's going to prompt you and ask you a lot of questions, give you multiple drafts. And it's just a way better option than just using, let's say, ChatGPT to write your books. And if you pair this with some extensive editing, you're going to have a really good result for next to no cost. And more importantly, when it comes to speed and cost, we want to find some sort of system or type of book that we like to create and then repeat this process and get good at it. And so if you published a cookbook before and you've had some results with it, go and publish more cookbooks. You now know the process, and every time you do it, you can have these systems in place that you used previously, whether it's to make the outline, do the topic research, make the recipes, get the images. And every time you create a book, it's going to be cheaper and faster. All right, so the second thing that we have to be doing to maximize our chance of success with Amazon's KDP is, of course, creating quality products. And so it's no surprise that the quality control has never been stricter. Like I said before, books are being blocked, reviews are removed. They've actually reduced royalties for books under $9.99. And what I think Amazon is trying to do is just overall clean up their space. Their site has been saturated by a bunch of garbage. It's not creating a very good customer experience. And so they're trying to clean house and only keep the high quality books on there so they actually have a good customer experience. And so we have to be intentional with every step, because when we are creating high quality products, we don't have as many issues and our books just sell better over time. And so we have to be doing adequate topic research, finding out who our customer is, what outcome they're looking for, and ensure that we are delivering on this promise properly. And if you want to find out more about what customers are looking for, you can go and read the negative reviews of your competitors. It's going to very quickly tell you what they liked, what they didn't like, and what the book was lacking. And so what we also want to be doing is ruthlessly editing for clarity. And so when you are using AI to write your books, there's going to be tons of redundancies. They use a lot of those dashes, as well as the overall text just needs to be condensed. And so don't be afraid to put your book through a few forms of editing, whether it's just using Grammarly yourself and really looking at it thoroughly, or outsourcing it a couple times. But the important thing is we're actually going through our books, because the biggest reason that books get blocked because of AI is because it's just a block of AI text. They publish it, they make no changes to it, and it's just a redundant, sloppy mess, and the Amazon algorithm and their bots can easily figure this out. And of course, we also want to treat formatting as content. How your book is formatted and how it looks inside will directly determine the level of your book in the customer's eyes. They're used to buying books from best-selling authors. They're properly formatted from a high-level publisher. And if we aren't on par with this, if we're just doing some simple Google Docs format that doesn't look very good, they're going to see it right away. And so, for example, if you look at this self-regulation workbook for teens and you scroll down to their A+ content, you actually see the inside of their book. As you can see, it's clearly formatted nicely. There's some cool icons. It looks like they can write in it because it is a workbook. And they can easily see the experience that they're going to have and that the experience is superior to other books. You can also go to the read sample feature and see what the book looks like inside. You can go to the paperback option, scroll down, and just clearly see the formatting. And I promise you, people will look at this, and if this is not high quality, they're not even going to look at it as a credible book. So as you can see, it's nicely formatted. There's a nice table of contents. If you scroll down, you can see a bit of the content inside the book, the introduction, and it looks like a good experience for the customer. I even like the chapter titles here. They're a bit more creative, and they just add a bit of flair and make it stand out. And so when we create a desirable book that delivers on its promise, it's edited properly, it's packaged nicely with a very clear and enticing title and a standout cover, and of course it's formatted professionally and looks nice, we're not going to have any issues. And so that leads us to the third thing that we must be doing to drastically increase our chances of success with Amazon in the new year is we want to stand out at all cost. And so we need to objectively look at our search term and ask ourselves, why would somebody choose our book over the competitors? And so let's say that our topic is diabetic cookbook for beginners. We have to understand that our customer is going to be searching up this topic and looking at all these options. And when there's tons of options like this, we need to find out the best way to actually stand out and be desirable. And so if our book doesn't stand out both visually as well as in its actual offer in the title, our customer isn't even going to look twice at it. And so we need to simply be on par or better than our competitors. What are they offering? How can we offer the same things or even package it in a more enticing way? And this comes from understanding our customer's desire. So go and read the reviews of your competitors, look at their titles, look at their covers, see what people are buying, find out exactly what they're looking for, and make sure that you're solving that problem for them in the fastest and easiest way possible. And so we need to essentially position ourselves as the best option to help them. Because if they're scanning all these books, we need to grab their attention, tell them we're going to solve their problem, and it's going to be faster, easier, and better than any other book. And so a simple rule is that our cover is going to draw attention. It needs to stand out in terms of its color palette, make sure it is separating itself from the other books. And our title is going to tell them what they want to hear. It's more likely that they will click our book because of our title, not just our cover design, because our cover and title are essentially the same thing. The cover is just displaying the title. And if we just have a generic title that isn't really offering them much over the competitors, they're not going to click our book. And so the fourth thing when it comes to increasing our chance of success is we have to rely on data. So one thing that you have to understand is that what works is already out there. It's already been done. And so it's not your job to reinvent the wheel. And honestly, you're not going to. We need to reverse engineer what's already working when it comes to picking the right topic, when it comes to our publishing strategy, what do our covers look like, what do our titles look like? Because the best publishers found what worked once, and they just rinse and repeated that process in a bunch of different topics. And so how we can properly utilize data to get the most out of this is we want to learn the metrics of a good topic. And so don't just let some keyword tool tell you the competition score and if the topic is good or not. These aren't accurate. Actually learn what makes a good topic. And I do have tons of videos on this, as well as one I will link below. But if you actually learn what makes a good topic, why there's demand, why the competition is low, why you can actually sell, you're going to have a way better time rather than just trusting your gut or some keyword tool. We can also learn the style of cover that gets clicks. So if you do have a book that's live that isn't selling or maybe selling a little bit, try out some different covers, see which ones have the best click-through rate with your ads, and stick with that one for the long term. But more importantly, we want to mimic the bestsellers in our space. And so look at the best-selling books. If there's a very clear style that's working, just mimic that style with your own unique flair. How can you stand out more? How can your title and offer be more desirable? But more importantly, if a book is selling well, it must mean that concept has been proved. And so don't try to reinvent the wheel and do something totally different, because odds are a customer is looking for a specific image in their mind. And if your book doesn't fall into this category of the best-selling books, they're not really going to be interested because it's not going to seem credible to them. And so now let's dive into the two most important parts about this video: what books we should be publishing to have the highest chance to get results. And now you can 2, 3, and even 10 extra income without publishing any more books. So number 5 is what type of books we should be focusing on. And so in my opinion, what we should be avoiding is, of course, low content books, coloring books, journals, etc. You can still have success with low content books. I have nothing against them, but the problem is they're so saturated. There's so many people doing it. It's going to be so hard to penetrate the market and so hard to stand out. We also want to be avoiding AI slop. So don't be creating bad books with AI that you pump out quickly. Spend some time to create intentional books that are high quality. And these are going to last for a long time. And so what we should be focusing on, in my opinion, is high content books, books like cookbooks, fitness books, workout books, things that are 150 pages or less and aren't going to take a ton of time and effort to create. Because like I said before, we can't be spending months and thousands of dollars creating a book. When you put more weight on yourself, if it doesn't perform, it's going to be way more devastating. And of course, we also want to be focusing on medium content books. And so I personally like the higher end of medium content books. These are things like inspirational stories, devotionals, things that are still a block of text, but they're a lot less words than a high content book. And so I don't really like the trivia type of books because they're a lot more saturated as well. But when it comes to these story type books for specific audiences, they're relatively untapped. The books are easy to make and they're still priced over $10, so the royalties are good. So what we also should be focusing on is audiobooks and bundles. And so in my opinion, audiobooks and bundles are a really fast, easy, and cheap way to get some extra income. And so why I like these 4 things is because 1, they're a lot higher royalties. And so when you're publishing medium or high content books, it's very likely you're going to have a $6 royalty per sale or even more compared to the low content books, which is $1 or $2. When there also is more barrier to entry with these books, it means there's way less saturation. And so when you do find a good topic that has some decent demand, you don't have to worry about it getting saturated overnight. People still have to create books. This takes a few weeks, even a few months in some cases, and it's way different than somebody who can create a coloring book overnight. When it comes to audiobooks specifically, these are basically free money. It costs you no more than a couple $100 to get a book narrated. You put it on Audible, and that's it. You just leave it. There's no ads, there's no anything. And so it's kind of foolish not to publish audiobooks just because how cheap and easy it is. When it comes to bundles, this is essentially a free book. So if you do have a couple books in one topic, simply combine your PDFs together, make it one book, publish it as something new, and just specify in the title that it is a complete package. It's 2 books in one covering these specific topics. And this is an easy way to get an extra book out without spending much more money. And of course, an easy way to stand out because now you're going to be more desirable. And so if you're still on the fence and you don't know which books that you want to publish, let's say that your goal is to make $1,000 a month. If you're publishing low content books, it's very likely that your royalty amount will be around $1.50. This means that you have to make 22 sales a day or 667 sales a month to make that $1,000. And this means you have to average a daily BSR rank of 8,000, which is just your rank in terms of every book on Amazon. How well is your book selling? And trust me, 8,000 is very low. And compare this to high content when you're making around $6 per sale, which is very average. You have to make 6 sales a day and 167 sales a month to make the same $1,000. And you only have to average around a 38,000 BSR rank. And so trust me when I say this, if you have to sell less of something, it's way easier to make money. And even if, let's say, a low content topic is more demand, it doesn't matter. If you have to sell less of something, it's easier to make money. And you should always try to sell the least amount of things possible. And so the higher royalties you can make per sale is what you should always be going to because it will be easier. And so you're very clearly making your goals easier to achieve by publishing medium and high content books because they make more money and they're less saturated. And so now let's get into number 6, which is how we can increase our income drastically without publishing any more books. That is to increase the lifetime value of our customers. And before you click off, there's something very, very important you need to understand, and it will drastically increase your income. And that is that when somebody buys one of your books, it's telling you something very important. A book purchase is telling you that a customer has a desire or a pain point, and they're willing to pay money for the outcome. And so this is the number one problem that people face with selling things online, not just books, literally anything, is proving the concept of somebody paying for an outcome. And so trust me when I say this, if somebody will pay $10 to $20 for a book, they will also pay $50 to $100 or even more for some sort of tool or training on that specific topic to help them solve the same problem that they're facing. And so what you have with your customers who are buying your books is literally a golden ticket to success. It's somebody who is seeking out their problem and they're telling you, hey, I want to give you money to help me solve this. And when somebody buys your book and then right after that, you offer them something else, you say, hey, I also have this other thing that's going to help you solve the same problem even better than this book is. And maybe you even make it enticing. You say it's a $100 product, but it's 50% off for the next 7 days. You can get it for $50. And this customer just bought your book for $15. The likelihood of them buying this product is very, very high. And when this is happening over and over, you have hundreds of book sales a month. The likelihood of doubling, tripling, or even 10xing your income is very possible because you're selling a product of such high value. And so if you make 100 sales a month with your book and you have a 10% conversion rate on this $50 offer, you're easily making an extra $500 that month. And this is exactly why you see people selling programs and courses for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. If you have a program that's $5,000, you have to sell that to one person in an entire month to make more money than most people do. And so increasing the lifetime value of your customer is the fastest way to 10 times the amount you're making right now. And you'd be surprised how quickly you could do it if you tried. And so a quick overview of the process on how to do this and what to create. It's very simple. You want to have a free gift inside your book. It's going to be an email sign up. You can do this with any sort of email site, high level, MailChimp, whatever. There's tons now and it's super easy. ConvertKit's also a good one. What happens is they sign up, they get a free gift that's related to your topic. They are then added to an email flow. And then basically because they just purchased your book, they signed up for the free product. They're now in the flow. You plaster them with emails over the next 2 weeks, every single day, upselling them this offer. And so every day you send one email selling this new product. Maybe it's $50, maybe it's $100, who knows? And if you are very intentional with your email copy, you're hitting their pain points, their emotion, you have some sort of time-sensitive sale. Maybe it's because they recently purchased your book, so you're giving them a special offer, and you remind them 5, 10, 15 times over the next 2 weeks. This is going to be very, very effective. So when it comes to the product itself, it doesn't really matter. Find something that is related to your topic. Maybe it's some sort of toolkit, a couple PDFs, some spreadsheets. You can actually sell this on Gumroad. Gumroad is a great site to sell digital products. Maybe it's even a course. Maybe you create a course with AI. AI can narrate things. It can mimic your voice. It can make presentations super easily. You can also create a free school group. So I host my program on School. It's a great way to create groups to send people to. You don't have to send them to an email. You can tell them just to join your free group. And then inside the group, you have these upsells that they can buy, whether it's a course, toolkit, or whatever else. And what you can do is just ask ChatGPT some ideas on what you should create to upsell them for your specific book. And so for this example, I asked for 10 ideas to upsell somebody who bought my Chair Yoga for Seniors book. I came back with all these ideas. So we have our 30-day video program. We have our pain relief targeted program. We have a printable tracker, yoga routine, planner. And so it's tons of good ideas. And even if you already offer something like this in your book, you can easily just offer them something else. And so something targeted like the pain relief chair yoga guide, somebody will easily pay $50 for this. If they've already purchased your book or they've already got a ton of free value, now you have this other very specific thing, they're going to be inclined to purchase it. And so it's very easy to come up with some ideas. You can outsource the work on Fiverr to get something created, or you can create it yourself. But I can't stress this enough. If somebody already paid you $10 to $20 for your book to solve a problem, if you simply offer them something very enticing, that's not that much more expensive, they're going to buy it and you're going to increase the lifetime value of all your customers. If you want a more thorough blueprint of actually setting up these backend systems to increase the lifetime value of your customer, definitely comment, I'd love the blueprint below, and I'll make that video. I also like to see who actually made it to the end of the video. Most people just skim things, they don't follow through. And so if you are somebody who follows through, I like to see who it is, and you are definitely the person who's going to succeed over others. That's it for this video. Make sure you sign up to the free course below. It's an incredibly valuable resource. Make sure to subscribe for more no-nonsense Amazon KDP advice. That out of the way, we'll see you in the next one.